So welcome along, another episode of the Focal Forum. So I'm trying to find out as much about people's stories as I possibly can, from people outside the University of Chester to people inside the university as well. And that brings me to today's guest.
Hello.
Would you like to? I'm rubbish with introductions, so
Yeah.
I always put the onus on the guests.
Yeah. So I'm Lily. I'm president of the Student Union for 2025-26. However, I was the president in the previous year. I came to Chester by studying acting, so I was based over at Kingsway, did that for 3 years, set up a society, so I was involved in the union that way, and then elections came up and here we are. I had changes that I wanted to make and felt like I could make an impact to the student life and community at Chester.
Fantastic, and we're going to be talking about that as we sort of saunter around the university. So we're going to take to our heels and hope our cameraman doesn't fall over, as he's going to be walking a lot with his back to various objects. We'll try and point it out. Anything that's going to make you fall kind of close to the time. But no, so you're obviously alumni here as well, and I mean I am as well. How's that transition? Because technically, am I right, you're not studying now, so it is like it's very much a staff perspective, right in from undergraduate to staff. I had a big gap in the middle between that happening, and yours was nearly immediate. How's that felt?
It was such a big change because obviously when you're a student, especially within our role and the work that we do, you're very aware of challenges that students face and the issues that you had. But then jumping to being a staff member and looking at it from a more organisational perspective, you become more aware as to why things are the way that they are, and that your issue will be completely different to somebody else's issue. So it was a big shock, and in a sense, it does make you feel a little bit out of touch because it is literally a complete opposite perspective. Yeah,
and you're closer to the age as well, the demographic you're representing. I am considerably beyond that now, unfortunately. But so I mean, you've been in the role now for over a year.
Yeah, just over a year. So I started June 2024. I started,
right,
and I'm now going into my second term. But even in the last year alone, my whole perspective on university has changed.
Right.
Just in the last year.
And what were the biggest changes, do you think, if you were to pick out one or two, maybe?
I had a very positive experience in terms of people on my course were very close-knit, but that university can be really lonely for some students. It can be really daunting. It's not always exciting to everyone. For some people it is just a formality, I'm just going off to uni. So I guess not
exercise, really.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, we get that as well, I mean, I find it, on the lecturing side of things that we have students that arrive with, for whatever reason, just not that much in terms of expectation, and a lot of it is kind of learning on the job, if that's the right way to put it, and a lot of that learning isn't really to their liking as well, but some of it can be changed to make it so, to make that experience a lot better. And I suppose you're more on the ear of students. You hear a lot more of it as well, maybe a lot more than what academic staff do, and we try, but I reckon that you probably get a lot more of that as well, and you're able to, I suppose you're in a position as well, maybe wholesale, to make a difference there as well and do something about it.
Definitely, and that's what I love about the job is you are very much in touch with student voice. You meet somebody different every single day. Somebody has a different perspective, a different idea, and you can bounce off that. And then because you've also got the relationship where you can work really closely with academics, it becomes very much a collaborative effort to bring around the change or look at things differently. It's very much a team effort, which is what I love about this role. And
you've got a good team there as well, because I'm going to put you on the spot. If you can remember all the roles that you're, I'm assuming fall under the presidency as well, because you mentioned a couple before we left in terms of, was it 2 vice presidency positions?
You have 2 vice presidents. So the way
I didn't realise there was 2. Or it might be a new thing compared to whenever I was an undergrad. I always thought there was just one.
It can change year on year.
Does it?
But I think we've had 3 at Chester now for at least the last 3-4 years.
Okay, right.
But so you have elected officers, and they are responsible for the organisation, the charity, and the senior leadership team of the union. The senior leadership team are responsible for the staff.
Right.
So think of it as we manage the CEO, but the CEO manages everybody else.
Right.
We're elected in by students. There's 3 roles, so there's president, myself, we have student life, vice president student life, that's Will Gaines, and then we have vice president education, which is Luis Martel Correa.
Okay.
We each sit on committees relevant to our role. For example, education committee, vice president education sits on. Student voice and experience is student life, so they're relevant to the role. The difference is with me is I sit as a governor of the university.
Right.
So I'm also there to scrutinise directly the Vice Chancellor and her decisions.
What a job.
So I get all the inside scoop. I sit on panels and meetings for 3-4 hours
long. She's not watching this to see my glee.
Yeah. So the idea is a student voice can feed directly into that top level.
Yeah, as it should be as well, like the union does. And this one thing as well, I think I noticed, so I mean, I've been teaching staff of the university now since 2019. Started as a VL and then worked my way through and full-time posted now for a few years. And I think a lot of students, particularly, probably just age, and you don't really know or see the relevancy of just a union in general until you kind of need one. But even then, when issues arise and students think that they're kind of on their own with it or they don't know what to do, it's only then they realise that the union is, it's there for a purpose, and this is the kind of thing that they can help with as well.
And I think that's like a big misconception and something I experienced, because I never really engaged with the union until my final year with setting up that society, until you know about the activities and what they offer.
What society was that again, sorry?
So I set up the Kingsway Performance Production, performance-based society based at the Kingsway campus.
Yes.
Purely because that's where all the equipment is.
Yeah.
It's relevant to the field for it to be based there.
Yeah.
So we set up that society, and it wasn't until I set that society up did I know about the student union.
Right.
But as soon as you're aware, and as soon as you access at least one of the services, I would say you're pretty much hooked at that point.
Yeah.
You become aware of societies, events, the advice department, the student voice scheme, the paid roles that we do in terms of working with the local council, not just directly here on site, the job opportunities, the different conferences we put on, we get guest speakers in. So there's something there for everyone.
Yeah. What brought you in? Like, what was the motivation? Because it's a big move, I feel.
Yes.
To run for presidency.
Yeah.
What motivated you? What was the push? Or I suppose I'll ask you a couple of questions around that, because I might move then to where did the confidence come from. But was motivation and confidence are 2 very different things?
Yes.
Actually, well, yeah, motivation and confidence.
Yeah.
What were they?
So for me, I sat as a student voice representative and then head of faculty for student voice for many years at the university, but I didn't really know it's directly linked to the union.
Right.
I was just doing it and getting feedback, and for example on my course one of the things was, we don't actually get much time to perform outside of class, so I put on a showcase for people to perform outside of class. So I was already bringing about change based off feedback, but didn't necessarily realise that was what this role essentially was.
Right.
Elections came up and a lot of people had said you should go for it, because I'd known people who'd previously gone for the role. And I was like, I don't know, I might do my masters, I'll think about it. And it kept on coming up and coming up and coming up, and I thought, I'm just going to put my name in, see what happens. I'll put my name in, and then I went to the briefing session and I was just really inspired. I thought, I never knew you could sit as a governor and do that direct feedback. I never knew that at all. I like the idea of doing campaigns and getting people in to do those campaigns and buying into the project that you're so passionate about. So I think that was a big thing. But for me, my motivation was this role as president and vice president. It is a full-time job. And students are so time poor.
Some people don't realise that as well, is that it is a full-time job. It's a big commitment as well, probably more than a full-time job, because I would imagine you probably take stuff home with you as well.
Yeah, we take stuff home. We work the past 4 weekends in a row. Like it's very much a full-time job.
Lecturer and staff can sympathise with that,
And I think all the things that this role was stuff that I was already doing, but I was so time poor in terms of balancing doing my studies and working, and I thought I can do the thing that I've been enjoying to do for the past 2-3 years, get paid for it and dedicate my time to it. So that was like a big motivation, is I can build on what I've already done but have the time to do it.
Makes a big difference, that, like, and you're learning a lot of skills as well along the way, like, and you know, just being able to, you know, amplify what you're already good at, and then develop new stuff then along the way, because it's a mixed bag across a number of different spectrums really, in terms of what you're doing, in terms of the campaigning, project organisation, liaising and building networks with, you know, maybe internal, external, for talks and things like that. What's the long-term goal? Actually, forgive me, can you only stand for 2 years? Is it still the same way, is it? Right,
yeah,
okay,
you can only run for 2 terms. So for me personally, I want to stay in unions and the charity sector. And definitely in terms of campaigns management and democracy. That's been my favourite part, is doing the campaigns, because it is really a collective effort with the whole student community. And it's nice to see somebody else get inspired and motivated off the back of one of your projects. You'll see that you'll do something, and then a member of staff or a student might do something off the back of that. So my long-term goal, is to stay in the charity sector around campaign management.
Fantastic. And I mean, 2 years on like doing this job as well, spearheading it. I mean, it's going to put you in I would like to think, in a pretty good position. Like.
Hopefully.
So what's going on this year then? What's the big what's the big games, or what's the big events? Or like what's the things that students might, or staff, anybody really might like to, or might see on the radar?
So our big thing this year as like a collective officer team is around student loneliness and student-owned spaces. We get feedback all the time, like they want somewhere to hang out, they want an event space, they want to see the footprint grow in terms of it being a place felt and owned by them. So that's our big push for this year. And we've got some really good campaigns coming up. So we've got Sexual Health and Guidance Week, we've got a Movember campaign, which the union hasn't done for many years now, so I think that'll be great. We're doing a home away from home in December, so we're putting on events that are drop-in, they're virtually as well, so you can be done online. So we've got that. That's really.
Is that going to try and orient, like home away from home, orientate like the I don't know, bring a bit of culture to people, maybe like international students? And
yes, definitely.
So for myself, if I were still a student here, it'd be like spuds and Guinness and things like that.
So the idea is what makes Chester home for you. So it's going to be like a lot of work with local businesses and partnerships in that way for our students. So putting on events in different spaces for them and things. So they're like the 3 things coming up this year. But then of course we'll have Chesterville. Last year it was based off a student's idea of culture on campus. So we're hopefully going to get a submission in terms of the theme this year. So that'll be like a big thing that we'll do. We'll have Wellbeing Week in January, which is always so popular with our students. But then there's also like little side projects we're doing. So we're doing a lot of work around transport. So we're working with the local council in terms of that's been privatised now in Chester. So putting on bus routes that are direct to campus, which students have been asking for. So we're working on that behind the scenes. I'm doing the Uni Boob Ambassador for Copperfield. So we're doing that at the moment. So we'll be doing like lots of workshops, seminars, events, a lot of work centred around checking yourself, but also opening up the conversation. So we're doing work on that, and also we're launching a newsletter. So we're doing kind of like a newspaper feel. Idea is eventually students will kind of take that on. They'll be able to write their own content. They might want to interview somebody for it. We're going to do like little competitions and quizzes and try and close the feedback loop in a fun way.
As you mentioned, newsletter as well. We're going back now to, I mean, I was an undergraduate here 2008 until 2011. And then we had a newsletter that I contributed to for my final year. Just kind of like little, well, I thought were pretty hilarious. Summaries of what was going on in the news and what have you. And we also had a criminology society. And since I graduated from here 2011 and came back, both the society and the newsletter kind of just fell off the radar. So I managed to, a couple of years ago, encourage a couple of students to relaunch the society. And it's been taken off its feet. It's been doing quite well ever since. And the newsletter, I think that'd be a solid introduction. I've got something similar through these channels in terms of Substack articles, and I've got a few students coming on to write for those. So you might well maybe see those students or similar jump at the chance as well of writing for a broader newsletter as well on a variance of topics.
I mean, so like we already do something called Society Spotlight. which is dedicated to our society members, but that will also be embedded in the newsletter. They'll be able to tell us what they're up to promote their society, get people to buy in it more, because we've seen in the last year, like we had 74 societies last year.
Was that sports and academic,
that's just our academic-based society.
Academic,
so,
is it? Right.
Yeah, so
Expanded
sports
quite a bit
society,
then, haven't
completely separate.
Yes, yeah, because I was going to say that might be,
Yeah.
I'm going to put a guess on maybe closer in excess of about 200 all in. It feels like it might be, anyway.
Yeah, we have, because you have our teams that play in the competitions, but then you also have like the social teams as well.
Yeah.
So there is a lot when it comes to sport.
Yeah.
But just for society members alone, there was like over 1,500 members last year, and we know that's going to get bigger and bigger this year.
Yeah.
Because of the outreach our societies do already. So all we're doing is amplifying that and giving them a dedicated platform.
Yeah, I took part in a few societies when I was, again, an undergraduate, and I see the value in them, and that's why one of the first things I noticed when I came back here as staff was the absence of a criminology society.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple of years when I was in a better staffing position to make that sort of resurgence a reality, I jumped at the chance to get a crim society back up on the go again, because they just add that they supplement the teaching environment with, it's student led.
Yeah.
And it's a different environment, it's a different feel.
Yeah.
And it just works well, shoulder to shoulder with the teaching and the classroom stuff.
And it's also like, for example, like as an acting student, it's an area like I would never necessarily look in, but we did like a podcast a couple of months ago now, and it was really interesting to learn about somebody else's course, why are they passionate, and it being like, actually I have a bit of an interest in that, so maybe I would go to that society without even realising.
Yeah, because for a lot of them you don't need to be in the subject.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like if it was a criminology society, I'm not a criminology
you have to
student.
study it, but no.
But no, a lot of them are pretty open for. Yeah. So nothing on the horizon then for acting.
Not at the moment.
No.
I do more singing now than acting, in all fairness.
Yeah.
Just because it fits in better with this. And I would never want to like leave this behind because I think we all know, especially with like such a practical subject like that, the more and more you do it, you can kind of lose your passion for it a little bit, and I never want the fun to be taken out of it.
So we always hear students, Bob, people saying, generally speaking, that a lot of students don't use their degrees maybe that they came here to do, but that's only, it's a very one-dimensional, very sort of superficial way of looking at the value of a degree, because I would imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, but your undergraduate and the opportunities from performing arts or whatever probably gave you a lot of confidence going into doing the stuff that you're doing now.
There's things that I've done in my degree that I've transferred into this job, like 100%.
Yeah. They're not measurable at times, but they're definitely there.
Things like public speaking, teamwork, collaboration, different ways that you can communicate, all definitely come from my degree.
Yes.
Having a more creative input, because I mean, most of the things I do, like I can run away with ideas. So having that creative sense into it really does help let those ideas flourish. So there's so many things from my degree, like even the networking alone.
Yeah.
So when we want to put on like events centered around like careers and employability, my perspective is going to be so different from Will's, because I know applying for a job in the creative sector is completely different to applying it in a more traditional field of work. So there's big strengths to it. And I'm like, a lot of people say, oh, do you not wish that you studied politics or something like that now? And I'm like, no, because it's got me to where I am anyway.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's hard to look back sometimes as well and think, would I have changed this and that? If you're genuinely happy in the place that you're in now, and you can see, like a way forward, you know what you're teeing up for the next phase, the next chapter. Like, and I suppose with so when would the new president come in following yourself?
They'll come in June 2026, the last week of June.
So we're into the final few months of the Watson era.
Yeah, and then it's done.
Any advice for them, or because there's going to be, I suppose, multiple people contending, and then there's only going to be ultimately one who wins. I suppose maybe advice points for those who are willing to try, and then maybe something of a bit of an advice and a nugget of wisdom for the person who's successful.
I would say my big piece of advice would be, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
Ask, be play the naive card, play the I'm young, I've only been doing this
it's my
for
first day.
I've only been doing this for a few months, so I don't know what any of this means. Sorry, can you just explain that you can be naive in the role, and it works to your advantage, because half the time, I found it so many times, you'll be sat around the table and they'll all be thinking the same thing anyway, and you're the person who can say it because you can be naive. So don't ask, you don't get, and if you're thinking about it, just put your name into the hat, go to the briefing talk, then you can make an informed decision. If you're thinking about it, I think it's just worth putting your name into it. And be bold. You'll come in with such like big aspirations. I'm going to change this and I'm going to do this, and you'll realise it's not really feasible, but it gives you a starting point. For example, I came in saying I want wellbeing hubs in each of the centre. There isn't the money, there isn't the staff, there isn't the space to do that. But then it didn't just stop there. It was, right, we can do these as pop-ups once a month. We can do promotional videos online about the mental health resources we already have at the university. Oh, a lot of the students don't know about it. We need to educate them on it. So there's different ways you can bring your goals to reality.
And I suppose then just maybe as we sort of get to the end of your time with the Falcal Forum for this week, you've been doing a lot of work on, I've noticed, on social media recently. How are you finding that? Is that, I suppose, again, transferable skills from the undergraduate? Because I find this stuff really enjoyable but very time consuming as well. But how are you guys getting along? Because I've been seeing lots of it, and that's a good thing as well, because if you see lots, it's working, you know. So how you any sort of things on the horizon for ideas? I'm trying to pinch a few ideas off you is what I'm trying to do.
So I love doing the social media. It's probably, in all honesty, probably my favourite part of the job, because I definitely put my degree to use with it, and it's a direct communication to students, and you can have fun with it. So much of the content they see is so boring and so rigid that we're allowed to be the fun ones. We have big plans. So we're relaunching Stir in the Pot with Lilly, which was cost of living campaign. So like meals under a £5 or doing things completely from the clearance section. We're going to do a Christmas special, so we're going to be doing Come Dine With Me, but on a budget.
What's the budget? If you worked it out
£25.
£25 sounds reasonable. We're talking free course, are we?
Three-course meal,
right?
Against all of the officers, so we'll see who wins. So that'll be good fun. So we have ideas for that for our social media. A lot more tours. And content with students, whether that be like interviewing them for it, or getting them to help film it. Because a lot of them actually really enjoy to do it and have been asking to do it, and we're now in a position that we know what works, that we can give them a brief and they can help deliver it. So we have lots and lots of plans. Podcast is getting a bit of a spruce up. So
we've got those, well, say new, but they've been still fairly new, the podcasting facilities as well in the library, which are pretty decent. The good equipment. They've invested is what they've done.
So currently it's just recorded, it's just audio, but we're going to be filming. So there'll be visuals to it, which will be great. So we've got like a whole suite coming up for that, which will be really, really good.
Oh, is that on the way, is it?
It's on the way. In the coming months, we'll see that.
Where's that going to be based?
It'll be based literally above our building.
Over here, is it?
Okay, right. In the marketing department.
I'll keep an eye out for that then, because that would be a worthy addition. A lot of, I made the naive assumption that the generation behind me were a lot more technically gifted when it comes to recording and that, but it doesn't seem to necessarily be the case. I kind of misjudged just how many 18, 19, 20-year-olds were active on social. There's a difference between being active and just kind of having accounts. So I think having the facilities that you're bringing in will be a big plus, because social media and other forms. I mean, we're into the era of AI as well, where all these things are becoming ever more job worthy. I'm a doctor of criminology, and here I'm doing social media content. You know, so it just shows how far-reaching the necessity for just broadening tech skills beyond Microsoft Office. You know?
And then the only other big thing is we want to do something with our YouTube. So our YouTube videos perform really, really well, but we don't probably use the platform half as much as we should.
So this will be your CSU, not the University of Chester. So this is separate again, is it? Right.
The Chester Student Union website directly. So we're looking at more kind of We've thought about doing the idea of like documenting the last year of president.
Yeah.
Also, it'd be nice for me to look back on, but it might give incoming officers ideas of what they want to do, and that relatability and the relatability to the students.
Yes.
Because we are still very much in the mix of it all.
Yeah.
So we have plans to do something centred around our YouTube channel. I
think that would be great as well. You know, it's very much something for you to look back on a sort of unique moment that you're. I mean, you can only have that term. It's like a lot of positions. If it's time restricted, you know, the kind of, not to be a downer, but it rules out the potential of, you know. So yeah, great, absolutely fantastic for you to look back on, and as well feeds into maybe a bit of a recorded version of the advice points from earlier as well, that they can see them in real time, maybe.
Exactly, because this is the thing. We're working on stuff, but we can't always articulate exactly what's going on. Yeah. So it almost gives you a timeline of where we're at with things almost. Yeah.
And that brings us back around again. It's been a quick lap there. I don't know how it's felt for you, but it's been all right.
Nice really struggled.
I've not struggled as much, and I'm just getting old. I just have to stretch out for a walk these days. But no, it's been lovely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of what is, I think, our 5th episode. We're still getting there. 5th episode of the Focal Forum. Have a look out for other episodes later in the week, because we have got some interesting guests lined up in the weeks ahead. You'll see us on Instagram, TikTok, Substack in the next few weeks as well, across all the major social media platforms. And of course, you'll see CSU reels and infographics and what have you as frequently as I see them, across mainly Instagram. And what else are you, I know you're looking at starting YouTube, but what other platforms are you?
Instagram and our TikTok.
TikTok as well, right.
Are our 2 biggest platforms.
And if you're not following us already, why not? So until the next episode, see you later.